South Africa is a vast country, and during the 2-week holiday that we spent with Riviera Travel, we certainly covered a lot of ground. It started when we arrived in Johannesburg on the 22nd of September this year, 2022, and then the following day we went on via the Blyde River Canyon up to Hippo Hollow in Hazyview, very close to the Kruger Game Reserve. After our time in the Kruger Game Reserve, we moved on to stay at the Battlefields Lodge in Dundee, from where we of course visited Rorke's Drift and Isandlwana. In the second of the 3 videos I've made of this holiday, we visited the Kango Caves and the Ostrich Farm. And for this, we flew down from Johannesburg to George and then went on to Mossel Bay, where we stayed for a couple of nights. From Mossel Bay, it was a fairly long coach ride to Hermanus, where we did a little bit of whale watching, and then we moved on up to the Pearl Valley Golf Course for our stay at Paarl. For the final stage of the holiday, we stayed in Cape Town, from where we visited Table Mountain and also went down to the Cape of Good Hope. Well, this holiday included quite a bit of travel by coach, so now let's just give you a flavour of some of the countryside that we passed through, which was very varied and very beautiful. And so on our way to Paarl, we made a very brief stop at Hermanus for some whale watching. I believe these are the southern right whales, and there were 2 or 3 that we could see very briefly. We were only there for a short while, but it wasn't just the whales, we also saw some other wildlife. There's the cormorants. And this is either a mountain wagtail or an African pied wagtail. I'm not totally sure which. I think it's the mountain wagtail. And then we also saw these rock hyrax. And they were certainly totally unafraid of us. So after the brief stop at Hermanus, it was back in the coach through this gorgeous scenery on our way to Paarl, where we would be staying in the Jack Nicklaus Golf Centre, also called the Pearl Valley Golf Estate, where we had some absolutely superb accommodation. And the room included a veranda with a really lovely, stunning outlook. And when we got up next morning, there's the mist rolling over the mountains. Our stay in Paarl was to give us the opportunity to visit a couple of towns locally, Franschhoek and Stellenbosch, and also to go to the winelands for a wine tasting. The photographs I have here were all taken in Franschhoek, where there was a market. And this gave me a great opportunity to practice a little bit of street photography. So from Paarl we went on to Cape Town, and the next morning we were bright and early in these cable cars to go up to the top of Table Mountain, which afforded some spectacular views of both the city itself and the surrounding area. After a really great evening of entertainment at the Gold Restaurant, it was time for the trip to the Cape of Good Hope. It started off a little cloudy, but the weather improved considerably as the day went on. And going through the nature reserve, we first of all saw this group of eland, who I believe are the largest antelope in the world. Not easy to find, so we were privileged to see them. There was plenty of wildlife to see on the trip to the Cape. Cape fur seals, Cape cormorants, various different seabirds, and some spectacular scenery in which to enjoy it. At the tip of the Cape, we went up to the lighthouse using a funicular that runs up there, and this afforded some great views looking down from the top of the cliffs at the treacherous rocks all around. Cormorants out there on the top of the rocks, and also gave the opportunity to photograph these cormorants on their nests. One of the attractions of the area is to go and visit the ever-increasing population of Cape penguins, also known as jackass penguins, which reside at a specific bay on the Cape of Good Hope. Now, humans are not allowed to step onto this beach, totally preserved, or reserved I should say, for the penguins, but there is a boardwalk which allowed us access to go and photograph, or just to go and see them. Great little fellows. And just to show that the penguins weren't on their own, this is all the spectators up on the boardwalk. Our final full day of this holiday in South Africa was very much more featured on apartheid. And we opened up with the trip to the District 6 Museum. Now, I have no intention of using this video to go into anything to do with politics or the rights and wrongs of apartheid. If you're interested in finding out more about what happened and what the District 6 Museum is about, I will include a link below for you to go and look for yourselves. After the visit to the District 6 Museum, we went on to the Langa Township. Now, again, I'm not going to go into any of the politics behind this or the history. There's lots of information on the internet, and I will include a link to at least one of the sites down below if you'd like to get more information. But I have to say it was an eye-opener and a very thought-provoking visit.
I always give them an opportunity to do so.
And there's no whiskey or brandy.
Yeah,
we all kosher here. We all kosher. No brandy, no whiskey, no wine.
yeah, but there will be a brandy and whiskey shortly in this building.
Thank you.
So I'll just need to prepare for the women's clothes. Come through, guys, come through. I know for you, you might feel like intruding, but it's okay. You want to sit down?
In you go.
Or you can squeeze in.
But keep it as a museum, this one as well. You know, it was built in the 40s, and then 6 bedrooms here, and those 6 bedrooms were to accommodate 16 men. 2 of these bedrooms, they are very small. They've got 2 beds per each, which is the other one on the side. And the last 4, they've got 3 beds per each, to give a total of 16. But after the passbooks were abolished in 1985, these men were living on their own here. It was hard to bring their women. because they were not allowed. So they started to bring their wives. Anyway, their wives forced their way. Said, now there are no more passbooks needed, so we're going to come and stay with you in Cape Town. And now these hostels, they became highly overcrowded. Instead of 16 men, it became 16 families. They were to use the common room to sleep, the children at night. There was no privacy for the adults to be mom and dad at night. You know, there was no privacy. So like it was a hard situation. Mr. Mandela came out and said, this is ridiculous. In so much that some other men, they were to get out of the hostels and go to build in the shanty town and build their own little structures there so that at least you can have a cooking room and a bedroom and the dining room. Some of them, they were to ask to put a shack at the back of the main house in the first phase. So now they are getting moved into the new apartments. They are getting, the government is also renovating and building some new ones from scratch also here if there's a space. At least there is a progress. And now we'll be getting to the newly built one so that we can see the difference. Okay, okay. And go.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Things are wrong. Come on.
Well, this concludes this video and indeed the whole set of videos about our 2-week trip to South Africa. If you got this far, many thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed putting it together. We had a great bunch of people on this trip, not least our tour guide Karen, and also supported by Kanan. We're looking forward to another trip next year. This time we'll be going to Botswana, to the game reserves and to the Victoria Falls. And hopefully we make some videos of that as well. Thank you again. Bye for now.